Hey there, Michelle. How's it going today? It's great to see your face on video.
Hey, Lindsay. Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm excited, guys. Today's episode is over on YouTube as a video. You can see our studios, how we talk to each other. And then you can also, of course, always listen to it as a podcast, which is the way we love. Right, Michelle?
That's right. Yeah, we love all of it. Good times, good times.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm excited to be on here today. But I have a question for you. I feel like this is kind of a deep question.
Ooh.
So I'm curious, especially off the top of your head, if you're going to have an answer for this.
Okay.
Was there ever a time in your life that you felt you were robbed of something you deserved?
Oh my gosh. That is such a deep question.
I know, it really is. Maybe not by a person, or maybe robbed of time, or anything.
What a tricky question.
I know, it's a hard, I don't have an answer either.
Oh my God, I wish you had sent me this question last night. I would have spent the whole night thinking about it. Not really. Nothing major stands out, I guess. In a way, okay, so I'll say with the pandemic, and this is coming from my worldview, my perspective on things, right? It's, I realize there's some privilege in this, but I feel like I was robbed of some of the places I wanted to travel, right? So, I still, in my life, I have a bucket list. I have places I feel I need to see in the world before I die. India is a big one. The south of Argentina, like Patagonia, big one. And also Egypt. We had a trip planned to Egypt. So I feel I was a little robbed of travel during the pandemic. So I will say that. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example. I think everybody feels like with the global health crisis that they've been robbed of something. I think that everybody was robbed of something. For me, travel as well.
Yes.
I think my sanity.
You were robbed of your sanity. I mean, some people are robbed of like traditional weddings. I attended a few Zoom weddings, which, in the end, if you're marrying the love of your life, you're happy. Maybe you don't care, but some people probably did care that they had to get married on Zoom. Right? It's really a shame. Yeah.
For sure. And then obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, the people who lost their lives, who lost loved ones, like to be robbed of something. So, I mean, I think, Lindsay, that I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a very relevant example that I think everybody in the world can relate to.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, but what does that even mean? Like, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this idea of being robbed and what that means, because it doesn't mean that I literally went up and stole from you, Lindsay, right?
Right. It's a little bit more metaphorical or harder to touch. It's not about stealing someone's keys out of their pocket, right? Of course, you could say I was robbed on the train today.
I was literally robbed, right? Physically robbed. Right, you could. So let's talk about the other robbed a little bit more on this episode. And before we get to that, we want to remind you guys that if you haven't listened to the IELTS Energy podcast yet, you are missing out, because Jessica and Aubrey are over there really with everything that you need to know about the IELTS exam.
Michelle. And it's such a good time to go over and check it out, guys, because it's the very beginning of January. If this is your year to finally, hopefully we're going to move past this global health crisis. If this is your year to immigrate, go and start with the IELTS Energy podcast to get ready for your IELTS exam.
Exactly. All right. So again, like we said, we're not talking right now about literally physically being robbed.
Yeah.
Have you ever been robbed, Lindsay? Like physically?
Yeah. Well,
literally?
I've had my camera stolen, but not off my body. I stupidly left it on my bed at a hostel, so I deserved in Argentina. So I deserve to have it stolen. That is so silly of me. Oh, and I think I had my shoes stolen off the back of my bag when I was traveling through a market in Colombia. But those are just me being stupid.
Lindsay.
Just being careless, being silly. Have you been robbed or pickpocketed, Michelle? Physically?
I think probably you remember the story where I was pickpocketed in Amsterdam. Do you remember?
Vaguely.
Yeah, my phone, my cell phone. Yep, right out of the pocket. Oldest trick in the book. Yeah, just literally right out of my pocket. I was standing waiting in line at a restaurant. One guy bumped me.
Yeah, okay.
I was distracted by that. I looked at Dan. I said, "What was that?" And then I put my hand in my pocket.
Oh my gosh!
I still remember it was a chill that went through my body. and my phone was gone.
Wow. And I knew. So did Dan notice someone getting into your pocket, or no? Was it that fast?
No, it was so fast. Like, it was like,
incredible.
I mean, I always say, like, it was like a magic trick. Like, as much as I hate that it happened, like, it was very crafty, like, very
crafty.
like job well done.
Good
like
for
that,
them.
like that.
Creating a diversion.
Yes, they created a diversion by, like, bumping me first.
You know, it's interesting. Yeah, the chill you mentioned, it's a very human response when you've just been kind of, in a way, violated, right? Your personal space has been violated. That almost happened to us on the train in Paris on our way from the airport, the most obvious place for someone to instigate a pickpocketing. We knew what these kids were doing. I mean, they were starting fights and picking fights with people on the train. And we knew, we're like, okay, there's going to be a pickpocketing or a robbing here. So we stood up and kind of faced them and had our bags in front of us and kind of faced them right next to the door so we wouldn't be a target. But you can tell when something like this is maybe happening, that people are trying to create this diversion, right?
It was crazy. And you know, sometimes you put your hand in your pocket and you're looking for your phone and you're like, oh, did I just like leave it somewhere?
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have that feeling. But like, as soon as I didn't have that feeling at all. I put my hand in my pocket and I was like,
that's
okay. I know exactly what happened. Like, in that moment, there was no question to me, and we tried to run out. And
I wonder how they knew that you had the phone in that pocket? Why not the other pocket? Or was it just more opportunistic?
I think it was probably sticking out.
Oh, sticking out. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah. So guys, if you ever are bumped by somebody, don't look at the person bumping.
Yeah. The thing is, in the U.S., that's a real interesting difference between traveling in the U.S. and traveling in Europe. It's much less common, I think, in the U.S., at least right now, to be pickpocketed. I guess gun violence is probably more common in the U.S.
I guess so.
Yeah, but I think in Europe we do face these kinds of things. Western Europe sometimes. Yeah. So, okay, but we're not talking about that kind of being robbed.
Now we were talking about it. I got into it. But now let's talk about the other way. Like you said, the kind of the more metaphorical way.
Yeah.
So this means to have something taken from you that impacted you in some way, right? So an example would be sports. I feel like I hear this a lot in sports. Like, they were robbed because the referees made such bad calls, right?
Yeah, that's a really common, where you were supposed to win the game. It was obvious, but the ref stole it, or maybe the team cheated or something, right? Or you think they cheated, but or maybe for a job, right? Getting a job at your job. I was robbed of the chance for a promotion because of the pandemic. It all comes back to the pandemic, right, Michelle? It's interesting.
Yeah. Not being able to get to where you want because things weren't going well, at your work or something. So you couldn't get your promotion.
Yeah.
Being robbed of something. Or a relationship, right? She was robbed of the chance for a happy marriage because her husband cheated.
Yeah. I think something that's really important to highlight here is the grammar, right? So what has to go, what preposition, if we're putting the noun after, it has to go before this, has to go with this as a chunk, Michelle. What are we doing here?
You do robbed of.
Yeah.
Right? You to be robbed of something.
Yes. And the only exception. Right? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you could say to be robbed by someone of like an opportunity. Maybe if it is a person who kind of took an opportunity from you, you could say to be robbed by a person, right?
Sure.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. So by is the person doing it, and the of is for the thing that you're losing, right? So that's the key. Yeah. Love it.
So, I mean, Lindsay, do you say, oh, I was robbed?
Yeah.
And then the other question is like, is this very like, woe is me? Like, to be like, I was robbed of this, like putting, the responsibility on someone else, and what does that mean? Woe is me.
Woe is me. Woe is me. Guys, write that one down. That's a great one. So colloquial, so typical. Woe is me kind of means, oh, you're feeling bad for yourself, right? And that's a way. Yeah. It's not a positive connotation when someone says that to you. It means you are just crying too much. You need to get over it, take responsibility. But I actually think, Michelle, this is a good way to connect to someone else. For example, in sports, if you went to watch your friend's basketball game and they just lost by a point, you could empathize after the game and say, you were robbed. You guys should have won that game. The ref made a bad call. Right?
True.
What do you think about that strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of commenting on someone else's situation is definitely good to connect you to them, to show that you feel sorry for them, or to show that, you know, you're outraged. You believe something should have been done in a certain way.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of saying, I know you could have done better. I feel like my dad I used to lose a lot of tennis matches. I think my dad used to say this a lot to me, but I know I was just not playing well.
Oh, no. That's funny.
Is there anything else we use that our listeners would want to have as alternative phrases?
Sure. Yeah. Well, one thing is to be held back by something.
Yes.
Right. So this is slightly different, but a similar idea, right? Like, I mean, the global health crisis held me back from being able to do X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah. Held me back from. And then, so again, we're dealing with different prepositions here, guys, for every one of these chunks. So you want to learn them in chunks.
And what's another one? This is a really good one. I think,
to be cheated out of something. And I guess this is a little bit more direct by saying, yeah, someone actually cheated, right?
Right. Right, exactly. I mean, I don't know, like sometimes I think it's used in a similar way to rob, like, oh, I was like cheated out of the opportunity to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it could be like that as well. But, yeah, I mean, I think both of these are useful for similar ideas to saying I was robbed.
Yeah. I wonder do you think that for cheated out of, could you use that for like if someone overcharged you for something? Like if you bought, or I'm wondering if in a sales type position, like a scammy sales type thing, like you were cheated out of that car because they offered you too little when you sold your used car.
Sure. Yeah, I think that you could use that as well for that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like if a purchase went wrong or somebody tried to scam you, that makes me think of scams, right?
Scams, absolutely. Yeah, we got to be careful for sure. Yes. This is good.
Exactly. So should we do a role play?
Yeah, let's do it, Michelle. In this role play, you and I are friends, and I'm going to be talking about a promotion that I did not receive. So I'm really bummed here.
Aww. Yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, Lindsay. What a bummer. You were robbed.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. It happens. I do kind of feel like I was held back by a rigged system at work. I know I deserve that promotion.
You totally did. You're the hardest working person I know. I think you were really cheated out of something special. Maybe look for another job.
Yeah, I'll think about it. All right. So that's something. Yeah. So this is interesting because the example we chose, it shows how friends are empathizing. A friend is empathizing with another friend by saying you were robbed. So this is a really good use case for this phrase, Michelle.
Right. Exactly. So it's a different way to show your sympathy than just saying like, oh, like, I'm sorry, that's too bad. You know, like this is taking it really one step further, actually, you know, not only like, you know, you're putting the blame on really something else that's out of Lindsay's control. Do we know in this situation if Lindsay was really robbed out of it? Maybe she didn't deserve it.
Yeah. But I like the way you put that, Michelle, you know, taking empathy one step further, right? Because it is more than just saying, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, how's the weather or something, right? No, you want to spend a little more time talking to the person about what they feel they lost or missed. Because maybe, I didn't deserve the promotion, but I feel that I deserved it. And it matters what people feel, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, whether you know that, sometimes you just got to support your friends and be like, yeah, no, that wasn't fair. You deserved it, right? Like sometimes, I mean, that's what friends are for, I feel like. And, you know, it's you know, there's a time and a place to, you know, decide whether to, you know, talk about really what went wrong. And then there's a time to just support someone and be like, yeah, no, that like, that was not good. And, you know, to kind of complain about it for them.
Exactly. It feels good to have people in your corner, have people in your corner over there supporting you no matter what happens in your life. And they're like your cheering section in a way. You know, that feels good. That's true. For people. Yeah.
That's absolutely true, Lindsay. So should we go through this? And
let's
talk it over.
Do it. So the first thing, again, guys, we said, I'm sorry, Lindsay, what a bummer. You were robbed, right? You said that to me as that next empathy step, right?
And I didn't need to say you were robbed of, right?
Right.
Because I'm just commenting on the whole situation. We know what we're talking about. So you can just say you were robbed. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. And then what did I say after that?
You said, I do kind of feel like I was held back by a rigged system at work. So you feel that like you were kind of a victim to whatever is going on in this funky workplace.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to add for our listeners, this is your bonus phrase for today is rigged system. Ooh, what does that mean?
Yes.
Something is rigged is what, Michelle? What's going on?
It means that it was already like pre-planned. Something is like it kind of cheated and not fair. It was like by design.
Right. It's not objective. There was already a plan that you were going to not get it. Someone else was going to get it, but they pretended that there was a real competition, right? That's what rigged means. Okay. And then you said,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And then you said you totally did. You're the hardest working person I know. I think you were really cheated out of something special. So now again, we're using the same meaning here. Cheated out of something special. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, these are a few different ways to express this. And, we talked about it, how it could be like a little woe is me if you use it constantly on yourself. Or also, I just want to introduce one more little expression. Maybe we'll do an episode about this once.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just do that. But anyway, I'll share it. It's pity party.
Oh, pity party. That's good. What does that mean, Michelle?
A pity party is when somebody just likes to feel sorry for themselves, and it's almost like they're just throwing themselves actually a little party because it feels good sometimes to feel sorry for yourself or complain about something. And
and I think that's kind of the art of being a good friend, is to call your friend out when they are engaging in their own little pity party, right? And you could say, "I'm not coming to your pity party. You've invited me, but I'm not coming."
Right. Like, get out there. Like, let's not be sad about this.
Exactly.
So maybe we'll do a whole episode.
Yeah, we could do a whole other thing about the victimhood, victim mentality, right? And, all that stuff. Oh my gosh, Michelle, there's a lot we could do. But for today, what's our takeaway for our listeners?
Guys, so robbed isn't always about actually being physically stolen from, right?
Yeah.
These are useful expressions to, sometimes bring you closer to a friend.
Yeah.
So think about how you're using it. Are you using it all the time on yourself? Are you using it to take your empathy or your sympathy one step further? What is it? But try this out today and let us know how it goes.
Ooh, such a useful connection skill here, Michelle. And guys, remember, as we mentioned before, if you are taking IELTS in 2022, go and find the IELTS Energy Podcast from All Ears English. Our colleagues, Jessica and Aubrey, are over there showing you how to get your 7 or higher. All right, Michelle, this has been great. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Lindsay. Have a good day.
Bye, you too.